What's going on, everyone? Along with Cameron Johnson, I am Colby Daniels. Welcome to another edition of The End Zone. Well, it kind of all happened at once, right? The end of spring football, the end of the NBA regular season, and now we are wrapping spring football up this weekend with spring games, and we are kicking off the marathon that is the NBA playoffs. The NBA playoffs feel like about as long as the NBA regular season, so the finales maybe lengthwise aren't quite the same, but spring and you know, everything kind of transitioning into postseason play and, you know, all that good stuff. A lot on the line this weekend.
I have to say, this week in particular has got to be probably the greatest week in Oklahoma sports. I mean, we had Bedlam baseball and softball.
There you go.
Everyone loves Bedlam.
There you go.
Then we've got spring games coming up, and then Thunder playoffs starting as well. I think this is just like the best time.
That's right.
I've said that so many times, but this time it's just fun for specifically Oklahoma fans.
If you don't say that at least a few times throughout the year, are you really a sports fan?
Exactly. I think that's fair.
Yeah, because it's kind of like live in the moment. Like, you're like, you know what, that was awesome a few weeks ago, but this is where it's really at. And then in about 3 weeks, we're going to be like, you know, those things were awesome, but this is where, you know, you need to be. Like, this is the best weekend in sports. But yeah, I mean, like, we're kind of like living a sports fan's dream, living in the state of Oklahoma right now. When you talk about, especially like college football, and I hate that they don't play Bedlam in football anymore, but I love that we kind of have SEC football and Big 12 football in the state of Oklahoma. Not to mention, I mean, the #1 basketball team in the world in Oklahoma. I mean, you know, it's an embarrassment of riches in terms of coverage.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I feel like you always hear we don't have a pro team in football, but it's like you said, we make up for it. We've got SEC football now, Big 12 football, a championship-winning basketball team, championship-winning softball teams, and I mean, there's a lot to go around, as you said.
A lot to go around, that's right. All right, let's talk Thunder basketball because the playoffs kick off on Sunday, 2:30 tip-off at the Paycom Center. I cannot wait to hear all the hype songs, to see everybody in their T-shirts. Like, it is a whole vibe that I am here for. So Sunday, Paycom Center is going to be rocking. I don't know how competitive this first-round series is going to be, but it's playoff basketball, and you can't take anything for granted. We spoke with Alex Caruso earlier in the week about what it is that has turned him into a fan favorite, because the playoffs are really when he thrives.
Humbly, that's been a thing for me everywhere I've been, you know, and I think that whatever level I've played at, there's been that infatuation and an affection towards the crowd and the fans, because at the end of the day, those people pay money to come watch the game that we play, and they want to see people play hard and compete because it's a fun game. Everybody loves the game of basketball that is watching, and I think that I embody the same emotions that they do as far as the love for the game and the love to want to play and compete. And I think it just resonates with them. You know, regardless of making shots, getting stops, dunking, playing from I play for my teammates, I play hard, I play to win. And I think those are the things that really, like I said, it resonates with the fans, and I think that's tangible for them to be able to have that connection with.
I know Alex Caruso plays hard in the regular season, and I'm not saying that he doesn't he mentally in some way throttles it down, but it's not possible to duplicate the same sort of energy that the playoffs just resonate within you. Like, when you're in that building, you just feel differently. There's no way to feel the same way as just a regular person. Right. There's no way to feel the same way in a regular season game as there is in the play. Like, it's just your body is just feeling all the things, and he turns it up in the postseason. I can't wait to watch him play at this fever pitch level. But also, I think fans really appreciate it's just all about all-out determination and hustle. All you can ask of your team as a fan is that they give everything in the gas tank. And if they do, and it's not enough, you can live with the fact that your team played their rear ends off and just got beat. It's when you have players that don't give everything and you feel like something was left on the table, those are the ones that probably sting more. Alex Caruso is never going to be questioned about that.
Yeah, that's been one of my favorite things these past few years now about watching the Thunder is they've got fantastic players, but players who give their everything to the game. Alex Caruso being one of them especially, but it just makes it so much more fun when you know that these players have that passion there, especially in the college world now with NIL. You've got a lot of one and dones. The passion kind of lacks, so whenever you get into the NBA, a setting like that, and you have guys like Alex Caruso who come out there and just play for the love of the game, and give it their all. It just makes the whole experience more enjoyable.
Yeah. They are going to begin the pursuit of defending their NBA championship. The biggest difference between this team and the team that won the championship a year ago is A.J. Mitchell. And there are other differences, but A.J. Mitchell, for what he was a year ago and what he is to this team this year, is the biggest change, massive upgrade in terms of the asset that he is. And Mark Daigneault spoke about the importance of A.J. Mitchell for this playoff run.
He's a huge piece for us. It's the ability to be a secondary creator on the court with those guys. It's the ability to be a primary creator at times. There's times where teams are going to try to use physicality and denials and pressure to try to disrupt your offense by putting a lot of resources on like not letting Shea catch the ball. And you obviously have to have some things that can shake him free in those situations, but you also just have to have other guys on the court that can go make a play. If they're going to give that to you, and having somebody like him that can really make teams pay is huge. And you talk about all that offensively, you can get all of that package offensively without a defensive sacrifice because he's an excellent on-ball defender. He's an excellent help defender. He can handle a lot of different matchups. He's not handling a lot of the primary matchups, but he can handle the second or third option on the floor easily.
Title team a year ago brings everyone back, and although A.J. Mitchell was on the team a year ago, to essentially add the asset that he has been now that he's healthy. I mean, imagine signing A.J. Mitchell as like a free agent to a team that had just won the title. It's an incredible upgrade in terms of the versatility that he gives you offensively, but also he's a two-way player. It's not even like you have to worry about one end or the other.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I think that's another thing that's been fun about this team is record-wise, injury-wise, you can argue that, it hasn't been as good as last year, but you've seen a lot of the players that were good last year get even better this year.
That's
and then
right.
you have guys like him who just come in and add this extra layer and provide that extra spark on both ends of the floor, like you said, and it just makes this team, it's hard not to feel good about this team and the weapons that it possesses.
This time 1 year ago, doing the End Zone, talking about the Thunder getting ready for a postseason run, I said I think their greatest asset is their depth. I think this year their depth is so much better than it was a year ago. I mean, look at guys like Isaiah Joe is infinitely better than he was a year ago. Jalen Williams, J-Will, 100% better than he was this time a year ago. A.J. Mitchell is one of the best bench players in the entire NBA, and we weren't even talking about his name at this time 1 year ago. You still have the guys like Aaron Wiggins. You know what you're going to get out of Cason Wallace and Alex Caruso, who are the key rotational bench guys. But, again, no matter what the matchup is, you just have so many tools in the tool belt to kind of throw at whatever they're going to try to bring to the table. It's pretty awesome, and Mark Daigneault has to feel incredibly lucky to have a roster of this depth. All right, we got to take a timeout. Spring football this weekend. OU, OSU, what you need to know next here on the End Zone. Welcome back to the End Zone. That is Cameron Johnson. I am Colby Daniels. NBA playoffs begin on Sunday, but before that, we have spring football all day Saturday. OU kicks off. I don't know if they're going to do an official kickoff, but they begin the spring game at noon. Oklahoma State begins their spring game at 4 p.m. We will collectively have both games covered, so I'm excited about that. But massive expectations for this OU team who brings back a lot of talent, added a lot of talent via the transfer portal, especially on the offensive side of the ball where they really needed to give John Mateer a little help. John Mateer spoke earlier this week about just that relationship with the new guys and how it's been going.
Great. It's been constant communication, them to me, me to them, and coaches to them, and it's been great. Like, I'm proud of them. They're catching on really well, and they're taking a lot of reps, which is fun. I like their own team, and they're pretty big out there, so it's been good.
Obviously, they have some injuries at the wide receiver position, especially Terrell Harris, who everybody's really high on. We won't see him, but still, you're gonna see some of the Manny Choice as a guy, Parker Livingston. You're gonna see some of the weapons on display. Not to mention the tight end position, which got a massive upgrade. Jason Witten, some established tight ends from around the country. I'm in terms of the passing game, I'm really excited to see the tight ends.
That's where I'm at as well. I think, you bring in such a high-profile name like Jason Witten, who's had a lot of success playing the position, but then you also bring in some real high-quality talent as well. I think it's going to be really interesting to see if they can quickly get back to what OU Titans used to be. Not
Yeah.
that they haven't been good, they haven't quite been OU level standard here in recent years. So that's the position I'm also looking to see as well. But I think with OU in general, they kind of get overshadowed by the amount of new names at OSU. But there's a lot of new, really big players that are coming in this year that on top of foundations that were already pretty sturdy late in 2025. So it's going to be really fun to watch the combination there and see where they can take it.
One of those names is somebody you mentioned a few weeks ago on the show about guys to watch for OU. That's freshman defensive end Jake Krull, who gave us an update on his development throughout spring football.
I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I think there's a lot more work to be done, and I think the coaches challenge me to get there every single day, and that's why I love it here. We kind of talk a lot about, like, there's an expectation from a player to a coach that I want the coach to want the best for me, and I want what's best for the coach, and they push me to be better every single day. And I think no matter what the goal is, whatever that is, it's just going to keep getting higher. It's going to keep getting higher no matter what, and we're going to keep pushing to be the best, no matter where we are.
I don't know a ton about Jake Krull, whatever the pronunciation officially is, but I know that sounds like a Brent Venables guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, you never want to hear a player say, oh, yeah, I'm comfortable with where I'm at.
I'm feeling good,
yeah, but his willingness and desire to learn, keep growing.
And to be coached, right?
Yes, to be coached. I mean, it seems on paper and so far like a perfect fit.
Yeah. So they're going to have a traditional, team versus team type of spring game setup. Meanwhile, in Stillwater, they're going to have an offense versus defense spring game. So I'm curious to see how that will ultimately play out. But Chris Barnes, one of the portal wide receivers, had some pretty big time comments about quarterback Drew Mestemaker.
I like Drew. Like he's probably the best quarterback I've played with so far, for sure. I've played with John Mateer, played with Robbie Ashford at Wake Forest, but I feel like as me actually playing, I feel like Drew would be the best quarterback that I've played with. I feel like he makes the right checks. Like, he knows we be on the same page and stuff like that. Like, in my head, I'd be like, dang, I wish I could check this. Next thing you know, he'd check it to something like I would want. So
that's a pretty massive compliment. He's played with John Mateer. He says Drew's the best guy. He also mentioned the mental aspect of it, which, you don't always factor in when you're a fan and you're not seeing that part of the game. But that's going to be a big key to Drew Mestemaker, because physically we know he has the ability, but playing in a much better conference in terms of the level of athlete, the mental aspect is going to have to be dialed in.
That's kind of been my thinking this whole time, too. Obviously, you look at what North Texas did last season, a great year, but that doesn't automatically mean it's going to translate to, like you said, this new level of competition. But to have that chemistry already in place, and then to have what sounds like another relationship that's going to have a lot of good connection there, it's going to be fun.
So as far as the scoring goes, offense is going to get normal points, 6 for a touchdown, 1 for a PAT, 3 for a field goal. Offense will also get 2 points for any gain of 25 or more yards. The defense is going to score points by forcing a punt. They will get 4 points for a forced punt, 4 more points for a 3 and out, and they will get 7 points for any takeaways. So again, I'm curious to see what that looks like on the scoreboard when it's all said and done, but I don't mind the gimmick of a spring game and sort of playing it up however you can do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of spring games, it's also spring football in the MACtion, and it's the return of MAC correspondent Adam King with 10 seconds of MAC spring football.
There's no games going on in the MAC right now, but there's going to be open tryouts. Bowling Green coach Eddie George is having open walk-on tryouts April 22nd at the SIBO Center for the Falcons.
That was 10 seconds of MAC football with MAC correspondent Adam King. He's going to stick around and participate in Moving the Chains next on the End Zone. All right, welcome back to the End Zone. It is time for Moving the Chains. Adam King, seasoned veteran at this point, is going to try and pick up the first down. All right, 1st and 10. It's a big weekend. We talked about the NBA playoffs, spring football. It's also WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, baby.
I know you're a big wrestling fan,
Yep.
so give me your best WrestleMania promo, but for spring football weekend.
Oh, my gosh. All right, spring football weekend. Let me tell you something, man. We wait a lot of time. We take a lot of opportunity here. We take a lot of that for granted, but not now. Not this weekend. It's our time. We're going to get out there. We're going to show you everything that we've got. Offense, defense, all over the field. You can't run. You can't hide. It's time. It's happening right now.
Bravo, bravo.
It's hard not to give a first down just
I
based off
think
of
you
that.
got the first down out of the gate, so there you go. That's the end of the set. No, I'm kidding. We'll see if you pick up more than one, but well done. That
I
was
feel like Trent Dilfer. I just got
especially
first
on the
down.
spot. Like you nailed it out of the gate.
Address
All right,
the audience.
first and 10 again. NBA play-in tournament.
Yeah.
Make a case for or against it. What do you think?
I'm going to make the case for it, but only because it gives some of these players that have kind of blossomed and made their way. I can't help but think of like Denny Advia. Just gives them another chance, right?
Another
and
platform.
And we're not supposed to let these impact some of the postseason awards, but I really feel like they do. If anybody saw some of these games, it has changed some stuff. So I like seeing maybe these guys get an extra little taste before they get blown up in round one by like a good team, especially like in the West. Like, let them have some meaningful games before they get 4 essentially throwaways if they play the Spurs or the Thunder.
I think that's respectable. Yeah, give some quality minutes to some other players. I'll give you a pickup 3 on that one.
Yeah, we're thinking service time.
I say trash the play-in tournament. I don't want to have to wait a week to watch the number 1 seed Thunder play their game, but you at least had me hooked.
Yeah,
so,
there we go.
Job well done, but I could still, get rid of the play-in tournament. All right, so we got three, so 2nd and 7. After the first round of the playoffs, what is the dream path for the Thunder? So that would start with either the Houston or Lakers winner.
Yep, I think you got to go after that. You got to I think you want Houston. The Lakers, if you just give them more time, now they're just getting pieces back, right? And we don't want to take chances with the what if Luka game or a what if Austin Reeves. Like, we don't want to do that. Like, Houston, you know what they are. There's nothing in there that really totally scares you. Maybe you get the fans jumping in on like a Kevin Durant kind of thing going on. But I just think the more time you give LA, the worse that series could be. Just potentially. And I don't even want to take a chance there if I'm the Thunder. After that, this is going to call me crazy, but I want the Spurs.
Okay.
If I'm the Thunder, I want the Spurs. If you take that series from the Spurs, you go to the finals feeling absolutely bulletproof and untouchable. So, like, you essentially got to knock them off at some point, either it's this year or next year. At some point, these worlds are going to collide. Let's get the first one now and just say we own this thing. So I
Make
like
the statement for San Antonio now. That's
right out of the gate.
All right.
I mean, you got to play the best to win it all in the end, so might as well do that. I am a little scared. I agree with you on Houston, but just because you said, there's nothing there, I'm like, oh, boy. We'll come back to that. But I agree.
So stay up all night thinking about the Thompson brothers. It's not going to be.
Right.
I'm really torn on Houston and LA because, number one, if it's the Lakers, you just get the aura of playing the Lakers in the postseason, and it's going to be a big deal. If it's the Rockets, it's Kevin Durant in a playoff series back in OKC. I mean,
sweet.
Who doesn't love that? I could go either or with San Antonio and Denver as well. Like, either one of those is going to be a great series. And then as far as the NBA Finals, like, give me the Boston Celtics, and I don't care about anybody else in the East. Just give me the Boston Celtics. I know you're a Cleveland guy, but hard pass. All right, that is Adam King on this edition of Moving the Chains. We will wrap things up with the closing argument next. All right, welcome back to the show. It is time for the closing argument. That is Noble McIntyre. I am Colby Daniels. So this time of year is a lot of fun. We have a lot of different sporting events going on. We just finished up the Final Four a couple weeks ago. Finished up the Masters last week, which is on nearly everyone I know's bucket list in terms of sporting events. So for the closing argument this week, the top 3 sporting events that a sporting fan should attend.
I've been to the Masters, I've been to the Super Bowl, I've been to the Final Four, I've been to an NBA championship. Love all of those. Look, I'm such a football guy. It's always going to be the Super Bowl is going to be number 1 for me. And I like it because it's a longer event.
Yeah.
Kentucky Derby, I'd love to say. I want to go someday, but that event is over so quickly. And I love sporting events. So for me, it's going to be the Super Bowl. It's going to be, because I'm a Thunder fan, the NBA Finals that we did last year.
Okay.
The third one's the hardest for me. I've never been to a World Series. I've never been to the Indianapolis 500, and if I had to pick between the two, I'm picking the Indianapolis 500.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm close to that, actually. I wouldn't go with the Indianapolis 500, but I've become a Formula One fan over the years. I would love to see a Formula One race in Monaco, and a lot of people say it's not the most exciting race on the Formula One calendar, but to be on one of those yachts in that harbor with the cars racing around, just the scenery to me kind of separates that from everything else. But in terms of motor racing, I'm kind of there with you. I got to put the World Series there as well because I've never been, and I'd probably have to go to the Super Bowl. I've been to the NBA Finals. I've been to all the college championships, College World Series, National Championship game, Final Four, all that. So probably Super Bowl and World Series would be my next two, but I like the motor racing one.
You know what? I've got enough money for Monaco, just nobody to go with. We can go do that.
Let's do it next year.
We'll film live from there.
Yeah, that's right. The closing argument from Monaco.
We can do
Formula
it.
One 2027. Let's make this happen. I'm
make it
100% in. Imagine us sitting on a yacht talking Formula One. It would be amazing.
There's no reason we can't go do it.
That's right. There's no reason.
We might as well.
All right, we're going to get it in the works. Hopefully this time a year from now, you'll be seeing us there. All right, that is Noble McIntyre. I'm Colby Daniels. Top 3 sporting events. Let us know what yours are, and we'll be back next week right here on The End Zone.